Hello, children. Hope you have completed all your notes, which I have been sharing in the previous classes. So today we will continue with some more properties of rational numbers. In the previous class, we have seen how to represent a given rational on the number line. I hope you have completed that in your classworks. Now, there are a few more properties that we have not discussed for the rationals, which we shall take it up one by one now and then complete it. So for which I'm going to share my screen now because I have a small video where the remaining properties are discussed. So let me go there and share my video. I hope my screen is visible. I shall pin my presentation. I don't require this. Okay, now listen to this video carefully and then you may complete your notes on these remaining properties. The first one is the role of zero. What is the role of zero in the rational numbers when we use them is what we are going to see.
Zero. It states that if p is a rational number, then addition of 0 to the rational number p again results a rational number p. Statement: p plus 0 is equal to p and 0 plus p is equal to p. For example, when we add 0 and 3, we obtain 3 as result. And also when we add 2 by 5 and 0, we again get the number 2 by 5. Note: integer 0 is the identity under addition or additive identity.
So that was the role of zero on rationals. So zero when added to any rational, you will get back the same rational. So zero acts as an additive identity for rationals. This is a property that you have to remember. That is, whenever you add zero to any rational number, you get back the same rational number. That is why it is an identity. You add it to anything, the identity of the given rational remains the same. So this is what you have to understand there, right? Now the next property is what we will go again. So we'll go once again and share the video.
Grammarly helps you do this. It helps you rewrite full sentences to improve.
Rule of 1. It states that if p is a rational number, then by multiplying it with 1, the result will be the same rational number as the product. Statement: p into 1 is equal to p and 1 into p is equal to p. For example, when multiply 3 with 1, we get the result as 3. And also when we multiply 1 with 17 by 7, we again get 17 by 7. Note: integer 1 is the identity under multiplication.
So coming back to the second property, that is a role of 1, like we have seen the role of 0. 0 acts as an additive identity because when you add 0 to any rational number, you got back the same rational number. Similarly, when we talk about the role of 1, when we multiply 1 with any rational number, we are always going to get back the same rational number. And hence, like 0 is called the additive identity for rationals, 1 will be called as the multiplicative identity for rationals. Followed? So this is the second property that we have seen today, right? So now we shall continue further.
Existence of inverse. Existence of inverse is of two types. They are additive inverse and multiplicative inverse. Click each tab to know more. Additive inverse. If a and b are the two rational numbers such that a plus b is equal to b plus a equal to 0, then b is called the additive inverse of a or negative of a. The additive inverse of the rational number p is denoted by minus p. Example, 6 by 2 plus minus 6 by 2 equal to 6 minus 6 by 2 equal to 0. Here minus 6 by 2 is the additive inverse or negative of 6 by 2 and vice versa. Therefore, minus 6 by 2 and 6 by 2 are called the additive inverse of each other.
So I hope you understood what is an additive inverse. So when I take a rational and I just take the negative of that rational, it becomes the additive inverse. Suppose I take 6 by 2, the additive inverse will be negative 6 by 2. If I take negative 2 by 3, its additive inverse will be positive 2 by 3. That means when you want the additive inverse of any rational, you just have to change its symbol. If it is a positive rational, you will have to just change the symbol to make it a negative rational. If the given rational is negative, you simply have to change it as positive rational. So a positive rational will have a negative inverse as the negative of itself, and a negative rational will have a positive rational as the negative additive inverse of itself, right? So that is what you mean by additive inverse. Now moving on, we'll go and see what is the other kind of inverse that we must know.
Multiplicative inverse. If the product of two numbers is 1, then we say that the two numbers are multiplicative inverses of each other. Statement. The reciprocal of a rational number p by q is q by p, whose product is always 1, and its reciprocal is represented by p by q inverse. Example, the reciprocal of 3 by 5 is 5 by 3, since 3 by 5 into 5 by 3, which is equal to 1. Distributivity of multiplication over addition.
Now, before we take up the distributive property, let us try to quickly understand what was the multiplicative inverse. A multiplicative inverse is nothing but the reciprocal of a given rational. What do you mean by reciprocal? The numerator becomes the denominator and the denominator becomes the numerator. So whenever you want the multiplicative inverse of a given rational, it means you want its reciprocal. So if 2 by 3 is the given rational, what will be the multiplicative inverse of 2 by 3? It will be 3 by 2. What will be the multiplicative inverse of 7 by 10? 10 by 7. So with respect to positive rationals, it is very simple. But when you're talking about a negative rational, say negative 4 by 5, what do you think will be its multiplicative inverse? It will be 5 by negative 4. So the negative will always come to the numerator, because when you are representing a rational, it is a rule that always the symbol will come to the numerator. So however it is, when you have a negative rational given and you're asked the reciprocal, you simply have to change the numerator to denominator and denominator to numerator. All right. So the next property is the distributive property, which is a very important property because it has got its application to a large extent where it is able to simplify your calculations. So let us go and see the next property.
The distributive property states that multiplying a sum by a number gives the same result as multiplying each addend by the number and then adding the products together. Statement. A into B plus C equal to AB plus AC for addition. A into B minus C equal to AB minus AC for subtraction. Let us consider the three rational numbers 7 by 2, 3 by 7, and 2 by 5. By solving, we get LHS equal to 29 by 10. Let us represent it as 1. Or HS equal to 29 by 10. Let us represent it as 2. As both LHS and RHS are equal, we say that multiplication is distributive over addition of two rational numbers.
Knowledge check. Attempt the following questions to
Okay, I think I stop my share there and get back to my screen. So distributive property over of rationals over addition is what we have seen. Now next we will take up one more video where we will try to understand in a more clear manner how this distribution works. Okay, so let me once again go and share my screen, where I exclusively am going to talk about the distributive.
Just think, Nishant buys two identical bottles of juice and two identical chocolates from a shop. If a juice bottle costs 22 rupees and chocolate costs 15 rupees, what will be the total value of all the items? Think. Let me tell you, you can find it in two ways. You can double this by adding the cost of a bottle of juice and cost of chocolate, or you can add them by finding the cost of two bottles of juice and the cost of two chocolates separately. In both cases, you will get the same result. We can say that 2 multiplied by 22 plus 15 is equal to 2 multiplied by 22 plus 2 multiplied by 15. Here, the distribution of multiplication over addition is done. Multiplication can also be distributed over addition in rational numbers. Let us understand this with an example. Suppose we want to multiply 2 by 3 by minus 4 by 5 plus 7 by 5. We will do it in this way, or we will do it in this way. We are getting the same result in both cases. So we can say that 2 by 3 multiplied by minus 4 by 5 plus 7 by 5 is equal to 2 by 3 multiplied by minus 4 by 5 plus 2 by 3 multiplied by 7 by 5. In general, for any three rational numbers a, b, c, a multiplied by b plus c is equal to a multiplied by b plus a multiplied by c. This is called distributivity of multiplication over addition. Now, pause this video, take your notebook and pen, and take three rational numbers on the notebook. Suppose the first rational number is A, second is B, and third is C. Now, you can find the result by placing the values taken in the place of A, B, C in A multiplied by B minus C. Now, you can find the result by placing the values taken in the place of A, B, C in A multiplied by B minus A multiplied by C. Did you get the same result in both cases? What does this tell you? Think. Sure, we can say that for any three rational numbers A, B, C, A multiplied by B minus C is equal to A multiplied by B minus A multiplied by C. We call this distributivity of multiplication over subtraction. Now, you must have understood distributivity of multiplication over addition and subtraction.
So that was how the distribution of rationals multiplication of rational over addition and subtraction is understood. So with this, we should be able to take up more problems on properties of rational numbers. These a few more properties that we have not written down already in the classwork, please write it down in the classwork and complete. Tomorrow, I think we will take up the exercise problems and we will complete the rationals between two given rational numbers also. So tomorrow, by most chances, we should be able to complete the chapter. So I think I'll stop here. Complete all your notes on the properties of rationals. I hope the previous classes, whatever was done, is also done. So now we will meet tomorrow in the class to do the problems in the exercise. All right. Okay, children. Thank you.